Yes.
And our last inductee for the evening
Save
is
the best for
Mr. Neill
last.
Riddell.
And move the flowers. No, we're fine.
Neill is a lifelong downriver resident. 1968, he graduated from Lincoln Park High School, #1 in his class, 660, valedictorian. Then he went into our lovely conflict and got drafted and became a member of the U.S. Naval Reserve, and he was a training in an intelligence specialist. Now, the people I knew that were in the reserve, he was trying to figure out who was going to steal all the steaks before they got to the where they were supposed to go. So maybe that was part of the intelligence. That's right. Then, after his military stint, he went to get his degree with distinction at the U of M in University of Michigan, political science and sociology. Then he went to Detroit College of Law. I think Kwame went there, didn't he? Now the difference is Neill graduated cum laude, or cum laude. I don't know, there's too many words. Anyway, that's near the top. I don't think the other one was there. And then after that, he went to work as a lawyer with his Naval Reserve Commanding Officer, Leonard Wilcox. Then they joined another firm called Dean and Filkerson out of Troy, where he's now the vice president. And that must be why, well, then also this same firm has been named Michigan Super Lawyers from 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009, and 2010. That must be why you see all these commercials with Jeffrey Feiger, Sam Bernstein, and those other guys trying to get all the business, because these guys are the super lawyers, and they're wannabes. Yeah, it shouldn't be called Sam, it should be like Neill. Well, then he meets his wife, Debbie. And now he claims she had an eye for him at the sportsman's dinner. But most of us believe it was probably the opposite way around. Anyway, then they moved to Riverview Glens, 1987. Family's there. They have 3 children, Brian, David, and Marshall. And we're hoping Marshall gets here because he was at the band concert, so I'll talk slower. Then Neill became involved in the Riverview Baseball Association. Now, I want you to look in the program. There's not one picture in there except his portrait where they're in the baseball team involved. So, we tried to get pictures from Neill, and he doesn't have any more. Even his wife couldn't find any more. They're all with baseball teams. So, anyway, he started out with the RBA for just to meet for a few minutes, and that turned into about 20 years. Neill started a lot of the programs here in the RBA, which was an established program before that. He served several terms as president. He ran they have an annual hardball tournament, plus he joined ranks with a gentleman from Trenton, Mark Elliott. They co-founded the Downriver Baseball Association, which takes in the entire Downriver area. It says outside the RBA, but I don't know where the heck he has time to do anything outside of the RBA. But anyway, he's always concerned with youth and how important it is. He promotes the sharing of community among the city residents. So I present to you Mr. Neill Riddell.
I'll tell you what. Those who know me will tell you that a microphone and a captive audience, it doesn't get any better than that. A couple of quick housekeeping things. Although Fred did a fine job of this before, this is my first time in one of these. I'm guessing I'm going to be to more, although probably I'm going to have to pay for my ticket when I come next time. But these folks at the Hall of Fame have just done an incredibly wonderful job. Let's thank them. And one other housekeeping matter, in the little history in the book, you'll see where it says that I've held many positions in the RVA. Just when you get home tonight, just write in there, but never treasurer. Now, as you can well imagine, I spent a lot of time thinking about what I was going to say this evening. And for reasons that I didn't originally understand, I found it difficult, I found it difficult to find a focus for what my comments would be. And then names started to come to me. These are names of people, some of which you may recognize, but probably others you do not. They're names like Dave Mizzy, Ray Russell, Jerry Bragg, Kevin Schomburg, Jimmy Hollingsworth, Lori Glenn, Wendy Rousseau, Mike Rutkowski, and Bruce Bosman. Now, as I reflected on these names, and many others, it suddenly occurred to me, you all have made a mistake. And you have. The mistake that you've made is to credit me with the work that's been performed by so many other people on behalf of our community and on behalf of our children. Those people should be thanked. Now, I don't mind being the pretty face of the or, as Bosman calls me, Father Baseball. And those things are, in my mind, right and proper. But no way could one person acting alone accomplish the things that we, as a group, have accomplished in the RVA over the last 20 years. And therefore, in my mind at least, no one person standing alone should even begin to accept credit for those things. So that was what was bothering me, the whole idea of an individual award for what arguably is a community undertaking and a community achievement. But that's not how this recognition game works, I guess. So I'm proud to accept what is truly an honor on behalf of the RVA and those who are responsible for its good works. Now there's others who should be thanked, not only by me, but by all of us that are here this evening. And I want to ask the question, where does the idea of community involvement start? I bet you all know where it starts. It starts in the home. And I'm going to tell you very quickly, because I know Fred's pushing me off the stage. I'm thinking of a time about 55 years ago. In the downriver area, there was baseball, but there was no football. And a group of parents got together, and they established what was the first football league for kids downriver. And they formed an association. They got in a league, and stored all the football equipment in somebody's basement. Well, that basement happened to be my basement. Those parents included my mother, who's with us tonight. I was watching. She taught me what community involvement was all about at those tender years, and I brought that forward, I hope. I think we should also thank my children. I'm going to tell you, it's not easy to be the son of Father Baseball. When you're the son of Father Baseball, you get cheated a lot. You get cheated because, unlike a lot of kids, you don't get the undivided attention of your dad. But I think that they've learned, and in the case of, they elected their representative, David, who's here tonight, and I know David understands this, that through my involvement in the RVA, and them working with me in it, I think that they've learned that before there's fun, there's work. Before there's games, there's preparation. And so, they too have benefited by that. And finally, obviously I have to thank my wife. Those of us who've been involved in any sort of community organization know there's lots of phone calls. Debbie has become an expert at taking phone calls, and collecting phone calls, and
like the word
doing all those sorts of things. She's worked in the association, and whenever things got real tough, and someone was giving me a hard time, she would always offer to go take care of it. You can feel welcome to mess with me, just don't mess with me.
That's right.
Now, finally, let me say that I know a little bit about pictures hanging on a wall. You see, my uncle, or actually my great uncle, Warren, was for many years mayor of Riverview. And much like our Hall of Fame, there's a place in the courthouse in Riverview where there's a long corridor, and all these pictures of all these old guys are hanging on the wall. Now, my law practice doesn't take me down there very often, but whenever I get the opportunity, and I'm down there on some matter, I always take with me a roll of paper towels and Windex. Because I think I learned a lesson from Uncle Warren and his picture on a wall, and that is, you know, people tend to forget you. So when I'm there, I clean up for Uncle Warren, just so that he knows that I remember him anyways. But tonight, I think I've learned another part of that lesson. I've learned the part from the viewpoint of the guy who is hanging on the wall. And that is that in honor, like something you've given me tonight, is something that surely I'm not going to forget. So for that, for the years that have gone by, for the years I hope that are to come, I want to thank the Hall of Fame Committee. I want to thank you all, and I do accept this great honor.
Before we close, Mrs. Zordo reminded me she forgot to say something, so we're going to let her tell you one other thing.